God for what's been said.
Yes. I hear your voice already, sir.
What's up?
I'm not going to be before you long because I believe that what was said is God has a way of aligning things up. So I don't have to piggyback with everything that was said. And it's funny how I don't know any of the messages, but I guarantee you before this night is over, all these messages are going to come together.
That's right.
I'm not going to be before you too long, but if you could bear with me just for a few minutes, I would like to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. I want to talk about, but it's a lot. I'm on a time restraint, so I'm not going to get into all that. But if you can, go home and read Genesis 18, turn it over to 19, read all the way to 19, and you can stop somewhere around the verse 30.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, you can read the whole story. But it reads as thus. And if I had to title it, it would say, "There's no looking back."
That's good.
Okay.
The evening the two angels came to the entrance of the city of Sodom.
All right, sir.
He stood up to meet them. Then he welcomed them and bowed with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "come to my home to wash your feet and come to my home and wash your feet. Wash your face to the ground. My lords, come to my home to wash your feet and be my guests for the night. You may then get up early the morning and be on the way again."
It's all right.
"Oh, no," they replied. "We'll just spend the night out here in the city square." But Lot insisted, so at last they went home with him, and Lot prepared a feast for them, complete with fresh bread made without yeast, and they ate. But before they retired for the night, all the men of Sodom, young and old, came from all over the city and surrounded the house. Now, let's give you a little history on Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was one of the wickedest cities around at that time. It was a city of lawlessness. It was a city of I do what I want to do mentality. I don't care what you got to say. If I want your wife, I'm going to knock your head and take your wife. If I want anything, they're going to take it. Now, this is the time that we're living in with this type of mentality in the city. So you got to understand that Sodom and Gomorrah is a place that anything goes.
Anything, my Lord.
He goes on a little bit further, and he said they came to the house, and they knocked on the door, and they shouted to Lot, "Where are the men who came to spend a night with you? Bring them out so we can have sex with them." Now, I don't know about you, but if some brothers come to my house screaming that, it's going to be some body bags on the ground somewhere, somehow. But, however, I'm just being honest. But however,
Help him, Lord.
Lot stepped outside to talk to them, shutting the door behind them because he wanted to plead their case, because he understood that these were men of God, and he's like, these things cannot happen. So when we're looking at Sodom and Gomorrah, this is a place, I have to paint this picture of destruction. It's a place where God no longer lives, but Lot is still there. But if you read the 18th chapter and you go to the 18th verse and you read down, you will see that Lot was only saved because Abraham interceded for him.
That's right.
So that goes to let me know that sometimes we are caught in a place of destruction. But it's not that we survive destruction because we're just this great anointed people. It's because somebody's interceding on your behalf. I'm trying to get there. It says he went outside, okay, and he said, this Lot, I can't believe this. Lot was shut the door behind him, went outside. "Please, my brothers, don't do such a wicked thing. Look, I have 2 virgins' daughters. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do with them as you wish." Now, he was willing to sacrifice his only daughters to save the angels, but yet that wasn't good enough. And they only went out and said, Lot, basically I'm paraphrasing, "Lot, stand back. Be quiet. You're an outsider. Who are you to come and tell us about the life we live? If you're not too careful, we're going to do worse for you." So that goes to let me know when you're dealing with people, when God is trying to move you from one place to another, you're going to be dealing with people that are coming and they're going to try to attack you.
That's right.
But when God sent these people here to attack you, he gave them an alternative. Even though to me, I can't see giving my daughter to any man for any type of thing. But we understand Lot was trying to protect the men of God at that time.
That's what he was doing.
So he went back inside, he shut the door, and they said, "Stand back," they shouted. "This fellow came to town as an outsider," okay, but then the angels reached out, pulled Lot into the house and bolted the door. Now Lot went out there thinking he could reason with folks. You can't reason with people that's controlled by sin.
Come on.
he was trying to reason with them, but because they were controlled by the lust of their flesh, the only thing they could think about was having sex with those men. So it goes a little bit further, but the angels reached out, they pulled Lot back, and they blinded the men, young and old, who were at the door of the house, so they gave up trying to get inside. Meanwhile, the angels questioned Lot, do you have any other relatives here in this city? Now, we already established that Lot was saved on behalf of Abraham,
Right.
but he also asked Lot did he have any other relatives in this city.
Okay.
So I'm here to tell you that you can't, when God is trying to transition you to another place, sometimes he will say, hey, go get your relatives. If they want to come, bring them with you. He gave them an opportunity and said, do you have any relatives here in the city? He said, get them out of this place, your son-in-law's daughter or anyone else, for we are about to destroy the city completely. The outcry against this place is so great it has reached the Lord and has sent us to destroy it. It didn't say Lot's outcry was so great. It didn't even say Lot was so much of a holy man. It said the outcry of the people, which I believe, according to chapter 18, was Abraham, because Abraham had went before. He said, find me 50, find me 40. You know, if you can find me 10, I won't destroy it.
That's right.
But because we have somebody interceding for us,
Yeah.
the interceding that Abraham did intercepted the destruction of
Right,
Lot. So Lot was able to move to the next place.
That's right.
So they rushed inside to tell his daughters, and he told his daughters, and he rushed to tell the fiancés, get out the city. God's about to destroy this place. And it says they laughed.
My God.
So when God is transitioning you to another place, people may laugh at you.
Come on.
Oh, please, who are you to tell us God's going to destroy this place? We've been living in sin and doing what we want to do for years, and you come here talking about God going to destroy this place? Ha, 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 ha. Lord, get out my face. We ain't trying to go. They weren't trying to move.
That's right.
So, at dawn the next morning, the angel became insistent and said to Lot, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here and get out right now, or you will be swept away in destruction.
Right now.
When Lot hesitated, now this is crazy to me. I'm like, Lot hesitated? God is trying to save you from destruction and you hesitate?
Yeah, have my time.
He didn't run, he hesitated? So that's going to let me know that, okay, he hesitated. The Bible does say Lot hesitated. And he didn't move right away. So when we hesitate, to me, there's going to be some type of hesitation when God is trying to transition you to another place.
That's right.
So don't be caught up on, okay, you might not move your feet as fast. That's fine. But as long as you're moving, you're heading in the direction God needs you to go. And I can understand why he hesitated. Sodom was pretty much what he knew. It was everything that he was around. This is what consumed him. It was Sodom. He lived there. So he's thinking like, oh, Lord, I know this place is bad, but I don't know where I'm going to go. So the angel seized his hand and his wife's and his daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city, for the Lord was merciful. When they were safely out of the city, one of the angels ordered, run for your lives and don't look back. Stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains or you will be swept away. Oh, no, my Lord. Now, Lot, Abraham done prayed for you to get up out of here. He sent the angels to give you the word and then told you to get some people. Not that they were so righteous, but you got any relatives? If they listen to you, I'm going to spare them too. But somehow that wasn't enough for Lot. Lot said, oh no, my Lord. Lot begged, you have been so gracious to me and saved my life, and you have shown me such great kindness, but I cannot go to the mountain. Disaster will catch me there, and I will soon die. See, there is a small village nearby. Please let me go there instead. Instead, don't you see how small it is? Then my life will be saved. All right, the angel said. They granted Lot's request. I will not destroy the little village. Hurry, escape, for I can do nothing until you arrive there. Now, there's a lot of us still stuck in this Sodom place. Sodom doesn't have to mean some type of sexual thing. Sodom is anything that's holding you from moving ahead of what God has called you to do. And we often see people that are connected in a Sodom mindset, and we like, wow, what's going on here? God is telling you to move. But see, because Lot hesitated, and on top of Lot's hesitation, he granted Lot his request and told him, I grant you to go. He said, Lot reached the village, and the Lord said, Lot reached the village just as the sun was rising over the horizon. Then the Lord rained down fire and burning sulfur from the sky of Sodom and Gomorrah. He utterly destroyed them, allowing with the other cities of the villages the plain, wiping out the people and every bit of vegetation. But Lot's wife looked back, and she was following behind him. She turned into a pillar of salt. So that goes to let me know right there that when you're transitioning to another place, some people you're going to want to bring with you. It could be, your Sodom could be a relationship. It could be an unhealthy relationship you're in right now. It could be anything that's keeping you. But God gave his wife the opportunity to follow him and go to the new land, but because she looked back, it stopped her and he turned her to the pillar of salt. I said, Lord, well, why the pillar of salt? Because sometimes when God is trying to pull you out by yourself, and if you have baggage, and he knows that you have a stronghold on that baggage, and if that baggage happens to hold you, then guess what? You're going to be destroyed too. Yeah. So he understands that in order for him to reach to that place of the new land, he had to leave that baggage behind. But we're here in a place that we have to understand that intercessory prayer is what is keeping us around. It wasn't so much that I'm so anointed and appointed to preach the word of God. It's because every one of us in here that have been through some things had an Abraham in your life praying for you to get you through. I'm going to tell you a story about me a little while ago. It was about 15 years ago. I stood in front of a nightclub. I often consider my grandmother, my father, my mother, my grandparents, my uncles, they were my Abrahams. They were interceding for me. Lot wasn't saved because he was so holy. He was only saved because Abraham was a friend of God. So we have to understand something, that we have people in our lives that are praying for us, and while they're praying for us, we have to be subtle. When God speaks, we got to move. I'm going to tell you this story. I was standing in front of a nightclub. My grandmother was my Sodom. My grandmother was my Abraham. And this was my destruction. Sodom is anything that will destroy you. Let's paint this picture. And I stood in front of a nightclub, and a man had threatened me about a week ago. And he didn't really threaten me, but word got back to me what he said. So I had loaded up a pistol, high and drunk, and told myself when I see him, I was going to shoot him point blank range. Meanwhile, the police station is right across the street.
Sure enough was.
But because my grandmother prayed for me, because she kept me in intercessory prayer, when God spoke to me on May 16, 2003, I let go of whatever was holding me back. And we got to understand something, that sometimes there's going to be some type of hesitation. There's going to be some type of resistance. But if you would just get yourself to keep on walking and don't look back, I'm telling you, God is going to bring you to that place that you need to go. Since I came to Strong Tower, I'm freer than I've ever been in my life. I feel God moving all over me. Up, down, on the inside and the outside. But I just want to tell you, it's not about what people got to say. Everybody in this room had a situation. But I'm here to tell you that if you just let God take you to that new place, it's going to be all right. So we gotta understand something here. We gotta understand something here.
All right, sir.
Every one of us has a decision to make today.
Go ahead
You can
now.
allow your Sodom to destroy you, or you can let go and walk away. But we hesitate, and that's okay, because fear, honestly, God hasn't given us a spirit of fear.
That's right.
But we understand God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but fear will be a part of our lives.
That's right.
We're going to be fearful. But you have the choice to decide how much fear rules in your life.
That's right.
So if you don't remember anything I said, remember this. God is calling you to that place. And when you arrive to that place, and it is crazy because Lot said, this is what Lot said. Lot said, I don't want to go to the mountain. He wanted to go to Zorah because Zorah was better. But afterwards, Lot ended up going to Zorah anyway. He didn't stop. He didn't stop in the mountain, even though God was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll let you go there. Because sometimes a God will let you go where you want to go to get you from destruction.
Well.
He knew. Okay, he said, you know what, Lot? Because Lot was hesitating. Oh, no. I can't go there, God. I'm going to die up there. God like, okay, you're not going to die up there. But you know what? Hey, grant him his request. We just want to get him up out of here. God wants to get you up out of there. You have to decide today, what will you allow yourself to do? You can't turn back. We are living in a time where people are being consumed.
That's good, John.
Being consumed by their past. We can't seem to let go of anything. And meanwhile, he's so focused. Lot was so focused. And then this is his wife. His wife turned into a pillar of salt. Now, some of y'all brothers might have been happy about that, but I don't know. Lot, it didn't say Lot was happy or sad. But his wife turned into a pillar of salt. And he left her right there. That means a wife was of some connection to him. It was of some closeness. You have relationships that we have to let go. I had a few Sodoms in my life, some fine women that I had to let go. Did I want to take them with me? Yeah, I wanted to take them with me. To be honest with you, I want to take them all with me. But I'm just being real, y'all. I'm just being real. He'll tell you, I'm not lying. I wanted to take them with me, but I knew God had a place for me to go. And I had to stay focused on the place that he was going with me. Because God knows, he knows our weakness. He knows. He knows. I'm going to close. I don't want to be bored for too much long.
That's all right. Let them
But I'm going to go ahead on and close with this. We have been called to another place.
Yes, we
I don't want to give you a gimmick. 2018 going to be lean. Are you going to be clean in 18? Are you going to be bling bling in 18? No, I'm not going to give you none of that. I'm going to tell you this. Wherever you are in life, it doesn't matter. But if you hear God calling you, some people, it's time for y'all to move. You cannot stay there. Sodom is going to destroy you. And it goes a little bit further because he said it. He said, Lot, I can't do nothing until you get there. The reason why some of us aren't moving in what God is calling us to do, because we're not making the move. We want to stay in Sodom. He told you can't stay here.
Jesus.
And the angels told him, Lot, we can't do nothing until you get there. Yeah. So God is not, we're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. He's waiting on me. God was waiting on me. I had to leave. We want to be, it's understandable. God understands, but don't let it be a destruction. Learn how to let go. I had to learn how to let go, Pastor. Being at Strong Tower taught me how to let go. All the past hurts, all the past pains, everything. Sodom was a past hurt. It was a past pain. It was issues I was dealing with. Issues with my parents. Issues that I had to let go since I came here. But I had to leave Sodom. I couldn't stay there because it will consume you. It will consume you. And you got to move. It's not about where you were in life. Whatever you did in life. God had intercessory Abraham. Somebody prayed for y'all.
That's right.
A lot of y'all should have been dead and are in jail right along with me, but somebody prayed for y'all.
Somebody prayed.
And Lot was saved only because of Abraham. So just remember, the intercessor intercepted your deception. And that's my time.
Oh, my God.